Well, it's a wonderful Sunday afternoon and it's time to get back into trying to get the venerable FT101E Yaesu hybrid rig back in operation. And this is the filter board, and that's the SSB filter. And at the moment I'm getting about 50 watts out of this rig, which sounds like a nice amount of power for a CW rig. So I think I'm going to leave the microphone on the TS520 Kenwood hybrid rig, and I'm not even going to buy a microphone for this rig. It's going to be a CW rig, but we don't have a CW filter. Stick around, I'm going to show you something exciting.
Well, as I just mentioned at the beginning of this video, I could not resist a microphone. The microphone's coming from Chris, the VK2 NAP. Like me, constantly on Evil Bay and AliExpress looking for that next bargain. It's a lovely Yaesu gooseneck microphone. That will be with me shortly. I did go to Chris's place last night. We tried to do some CW. We mucked around with reverse beacons and whatnot. The bands were absolutely dead. He also got me some of this stuff off AliExpress, cases for projects. Check that out. A VU meter. That's going to be a lovely signal meter in a rig. Bags of crystals and dials and all this amazing stuff. He's also got access to a lot of e-waste because he does IT work, and he gets me lots of these solid metal cases, which are absolutely fantastic for projects. Now, I recently hit 3,300 subscribers, which is probably about 3,000 more than I ever thought I would get. So to all the people who are regular viewers of the channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those that do watch but haven't yet reached down and hit that subscribe button, please do so. It would mean the world to me. Back to the video.
Well, I was scooting around in eBay looking at secondhand parts and what should come up. But this, yes, the XF30C, the CW filter that goes into this filter board. So we're going to pop that in. I need to look at the installation instructions to make sure that I'm supposed to leave those resistors that are there or take them out. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of a deep dive on that before I commit. We will have a nice narrow CW filter for this rig. I'm looking forward to having a play on it. So I will have two beautiful hybrid rigs side by side, along with the Hermes Lite, which is now doing 40 watts on the new amplifier. And I may actually do a little bit more operating. I've got to say, I've been a little bit relaxed this weekend and been smashing out the FT8. And I know there's a lot of people who dislike that mode. I'll actually say I do enjoy it. And when the bands are really, really, really bad, even let's say too bad for my situation for CW, because I know that CW does get through in really bad situations, certainly my local noise and everything else. It's got to be really good for me to work DX from here. It's nice to do a bit of FT8 and rack up some DX contacts, and I still find it a magic thing. I can throw a few watts into a little piece of wire on the roof, make contacts with people all around the world. That's the magic of radio. Okay, folks, we've gotten back early from work, which is a nice change. This is a page from the Yaesu FT101E service manual. I will put a link below to where I found this document, but it's available in several places. And this is the CW filter installation diagram, and it's telling you what needs to come out. And thankfully it matches very nicely with what I'm seeing here. So if you look at the back here, those two capacitors that you can see, that one and that one, need to be removed. And then we put our filter in. Now it says you need to drill the holes out maybe, but I'm hoping that we don't need to do that. Fingers crossed. We do have some cracked capacitors on here too, which very well may need replacing, but that is down the track. The plan today is just to get that filter in, and then we are going to check for signal. We're going to input a 50 microvolt S9 signal into the rig, and just check to see whether the transmit relay is resistive or not and needs cleaning. Oakley dokley. This should be quite an easy install. Famous last words, eh? Nothing is ever easy. Yes, those holes definitely need to be drilled out, and those capacitors need to be removed completely. So we'll have to get the solder sucker going to make life just that little bit easier, and we'll have to drill those holes out as well. We might give this board a bit of a clean up as well. So we shall suck those leads out, get those holes clear, and then look for a drill bit that's the right size to install our filter. God only knows why they don't drill those holes out thick enough.
Annoying.
Holes are clear. It was a wonderful investment, that solder sucker. Last time I was in Bangkok at the Electric Street Market. Video below to that little adventure that I had in Thailand. So all we need to do now is make sure those other holes are clear, which they seem to be, and we should be able to install that. I need to get a little bit of solder off this pin as well. Nice. Okay. So now we will drill that hole out and see how we go. Let's select a drill bit. Probably the one we need is already broken. That's usually what happens. No, we need to go bigger than that. Go 3.2. If that's not big enough, we'll go 3.5. We'll drill our board. Well, that was pretty easy. Yeah, these pins are bent. Get some light in the subject. We had one of those annoying calls from a telemarketer, and while I was struggling to get that in, I noticed that we were missing, well, one of the holes actually had solder in it. So talk about not very hyper vigilant. We're wondering why the filter wouldn't slot in. Well, it's not going to slot in if the holes aren't clear. And there we go. It is in. We are plugged in. Very satisfying. We'll just pop the screws on here, and I'm just going to use these lovely little lock washers without the flat washers, because that's what they've done on the other side, and that should be fine. It should bolt it in nicely and create a nice little earth for the filter case, and then we just solder it up. Then I'll slot this board back in, and we'll see how we're doing. We have a rig with a proper CW crystal filter in it, or a hybrid with a proper CW crystal. We don't have one for the TS520. We use the audio filtering for that rig, and it'll just be interesting to see how much better this is. And if this is a lot better, which I have a sneaking suspicion it will be, we may even throw caution to the wind finance wise, get ourselves one for the other rig as well, so that they're both gun rigs on on CW. Filter is in. We will just clean up contacts and reinstall. Quite amazing that something this old was already using this type of board connector. The fact that it's 50 years old and still operating, 50 plus years old, is a real testament to the quality of workmanship that Yaesu puts into its gear. Yes, I'm not sponsored by them, and I've got to say, this is the first Yaesu rig I have ever owned, and it might not be the last. I'm really impressed by this rig and the quality that's been invested in it. Now, being as the rig is sitting on the deck and hasn't got a case underneath it, I need to make sure there's no metal underneath it to make sure we don't short anything out. So I will quickly check underneath, get an antenna and a power meter on this thing, and just have a listen to see if we can hear the filter coming in and out as we operate CW. Let's see. Let's get an antenna in. Fingers crossed. Well, that's a good start. Let's get it on 40 meters. We're sort of heading into the evening. We need to select the antenna on the magic antenna box. Okay. Rig selector. I think it's 5. No. 6, hopefully. Yeah, baby. Let's see what happens on this sideband when we flick over to that's upper sideband. That does sound like it's working. Let's find some CW. Well, we've had to go to 80 meters to the good old reliable Morse code beacon. So CW filter. That is very nice. I'm already getting excited.
Well folks, we're at the end of the video now. Thank you for sticking around right to the end. As you can see, there is probably a ton of work to do on the Yaesu FT101E, but it's been a lot of fun, and the plan is over the next few weeks, I'm going to recap the rectification board on it. I've got some high voltage capacitors winging their way here as we speak, and I'm also going to check that transmit relay and do a few more things and probably do some cosmetic work on the case. It's not going to be perfect, and I'm going to apologise in advance for the choice of colours. 7 to 3, and I shall see you in the next episode of The Art of engineering.